What is up, fellow Forgelings? Welcome to Metal Forge Reviews, where you can get the most out of your metal releases. Today I am reviewing Epica's latest gold standard release in symphonic metal, Omega. What did you think of the record? Let me know in the comments. If you like metal reviews like these, hit that like and subscribe button so that you never miss a video. Journeys through the mind, angelic and powerful voicings. Let's dive into my thoughts on Omega. Epica are a Dutch symphonic metal band that blend a wide variety of styles into their music, including progressive, gothic, and melodic death metal. Personally, as this is my introduction to Epica, they seem to bridge the gap between symphonic metal and death metal perfectly. There's some wonderfully complex notes of gothic atmospheres as well, all over their music that make them highly unique in the symphonic metal genre, and honestly, I don't really listen to symphonic metal all that often. Their trademark sound includes the mixing of mezzo-soprano vocals performed by Simone Simmons and harsh vocals performed by Mark Jansen. They're also well known for their use of opera choirs and orchestra elements in their music. Since their first release of Cry of the Moon in 2002, they have released 8 studio albums, including 2021's highly anticipated Omega after a 5-year hiatus of the band. As I said before, I don't typically go for symphonic metal, but after some favorable reviews from Quest for Metal, Metal Trenches, and the Metal Meltdown, go check those guys out by the way, I decided to give Epica a shot, and I am so glad that I did. Epica showcased master class in creating an atmosphere and vibe that is completely unparalleled in the symphonic metal genre. The contrasting voicings created by Mark Jansen's brutal harsh vocals and Simone Simmons' otherworldly and angelic voice create a world to behold, while the intense musical performances, production, and arrangements create something completely unique and original in the symphonic metal landscape. The music itself is grand in scale, featuring monumental and massive metal instrumentation, carefully constructed with rich orchestral elements and choirs to create a cinematic sense of drama throughout the record. Everything oozes emotion on an astronomical scale on Omega, and that raises the bar for symphonic metal in my opinion. Epica have nailed the grand scale and triumph all over this album, only amplified by their ability to write, record, and produce this album all while being together during the pandemic. The strength of their bond as friends is perfectly captured in the feelings and performances all throughout Omega. I give the atmosphere and vibe a 5 out of 5. I briefly touched on this, but the decision to include actual performed orchestral and choir elements make this album highly impressive. These aren't samples or someone hand programming each note. These are performances, and the fact that these compositions include real elements elevate this music to a whole other realm. Epica are a band of masterful songwriting and composition. To be honest, I can't believe I slept on this band for so long given my nerdy tendencies to analyze how bands construct their music. There's triumph all over this record in the sounds of every song, illustrating what it's like to look inward, examine your struggles of the mind, and push forward. There's a constant strain on the line between happiness and melancholy, with the compositions beautifully illustrated with contrasting vocal styles, huge melodic sections, and brutal riffing at points. It's rare when bands on the progressive and innovative spectrum show the ability to write catchy and melodic hooks, flexing the ability to write memorable and addictive songs. The verse in the Skeleton Key alone has been stuck in my head for weeks. The only ding I will give this album is the long runtime. Some songs don't feel like they necessarily add to the drama and the epic conclusion of the record, and a couple songs I feel like could have been left out and Omega still would have had a massive impact. I give composition a 4 out of 5. Omega Point Theory is a supposed future when everything in the universe spirals toward a final point of divine unification. As someone who spent their time studying physics in graduate school, I am a huge nerd when it comes to quantum theory and the mysticism surrounding science and the fates only implied by measurements and determination. These themes are all over Omega, which showcase a fantastic inward mental journey of personal struggles and overcoming demons inside the inner mazes of the mind. Here's a chorus that I actually love from the Skeleton Key.
We find the lightning that shines
The longtime artist for the band, Stefan Haleman, has nailed these concepts in the album artwork as well, showcasing a divine sense and grand scale behind the scenes of our own worlds, filled with sorrow and happiness alike as we navigate our lives towards a, one can hope, common unity. In the album artwork, these concepts can be seen with the figure on the bottom starting in the darkness, going through his or her own labyrinth with the maze. The sacred symbols littered throughout the design only add to the story of the record, with the divine being above looking down through the clouds, watching everything unfold, solidifies this wonderful piece. Love the concepts and art, giving that a 4 out of 5. The production on Omega is staggering to me. There are so many elements in the mixing to balance here that it would be very easy for this album to have problems with dynamics, but that is far from the case with Omega. This is a modern metal release, so everything sounds pristine, clear, deliberate, which is nothing surprising in the modern landscape of symphonic metal. What I love about the production, though, is how real everything sounds, as opposed to a band like Flesh God Apocalypse, where everything sounds completely compressed, slammed into place, and downright exhausting to listen to. Since the entire band was present during the writing, recording, and production phase, it is no surprise the cohesion is there with something so complex. Orchestral and choir elements sit wonderfully in the mix against the core of the band's performances. Delicate and melodic sections feel subdued when they're supposed to. Massive, heavy sections feel huge and slam the listener when they're supposed to. Everything has its space in the stereo field, and even the non-traditional instruments blend perfectly with all of the other performances. As someone who is completely new to Epica, I'm excited to check out their other releases in their catalog. I find myself revisiting this album frequently during my week, and the melodies only get more infectious every listen. I give this album 4.5 out of 5. I love this record. It could easily be on a best of symphonic metal list for 2021. What did you think of the album? Are you gonna check out this record? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Go with the gods, my Metal Forge brethren. I'll catch you guys next time in the Tombs of Annihilation.